Let's be real, we've all been hyped for a game only to find it a total dumpster fire at launch. Whether it's game-breaking bugs, missing features, or just not living up to the hype. It's the kind of heartbreak only gamers truly understand. But sometimes, those very same games come roaring back, proving redemption is possible with enough effort and a ton of patches. Today, we're diving into 10 games that launched in a mess but became must-plays later. These are the ultimate comeback stories, titles that went from unplayable disasters to absolute gems. So if you're into second chances and seeing developers turn the tide, this list is for you. Grab your snacks and let's get started. Of course, Cyberpunk had to be on the list, because Cyberpunk 2077 had one of the most disastrous launches in gaming history. Released in December 2020, it was hyped as the next-gen RPG that would define a generation. Instead, players were greeted with game-breaking bugs, performance issues, and glitches that turned Night City into a comedy show, especially on older consoles. Refunds were issued, memes flooded the internet, and CD Projekt Red's reputation took a massive hit. But fast forward today, and Cyberpunk has risen from the ashes like a neon phoenix. Through a series of massive updates, the game has been transformed. The Phantom Liberty expansion added depth to the story, the AI and combat mechanics were overhauled, and Night City finally feels like the immersive world we were promised. If you wrote it off at launch, it's time to give it another look. It's finally the Cyberpunk dream we were all waiting for. When No Man's Skies launched in 2016, it quickly became the poster child for overhyped disasters. Players were promised a near infinite universe filled with unique planets, thriving ecosystems, and multiplayer exploration. And what they got was a repetitive grind with no multiplayer and barren planets that all felt the same. The backlash was brutal, and many wrote the game off as a scam. But Hello Games didn't give up. Over the years, they rolled out update after update, transforming No Man's Sky into a masterpiece. From base building and multiplayer to VR support and massive space battles, the game is now packed with features that make every journey feel unique. It's one of the greatest redemption arcs in gaming history, proving that sometimes patience pays off. When Final Fantasy XIV launched in 2010, it was a train wreck. Technical issues, clunky mechanics, and a lackluster story left players feeling disappointed. Critics called it one of the worst entries in the legendary franchise, and Square Enix had no choice but to go back to the drawing board. In 2013, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn emerged as a completely reworked game, and the results were astounding, with a captivating story, polished gameplay, and expansions like Shadowbringers and Endwalker. It's now one of the most beloved MMORPGs in the world. Square Enix's commitment to its fans paid off, turning a failure into phenomenal success. Well, when Halo the Master Chef collection dropped in 2014, fans were excited to revisit the iconic series. Unfortunately, the launch was a total disaster. Matchmaking was broken, servers were unstable, and bugs plagued nearly every mode. It was a rough time to be a Halo fan, but 343 Industries didn't quit. Over the years, they fixed the matchmaking, enhanced the visuals, and added new features like crossplay, and PC is the definitive Halo experience, a must-play for newcomers and veterans alike. It's a testament to what can happen when developers refuse to give up on their vision. Oh, Assassin's Creed Unity, the game that gave us glitchy, faceless NPCs and endless mimes. When it launched in 2014, it was a technical disaster. Performance issues, bizarre bugs, and a lack of polish made it one of Ubisoft's most infamous releases. The backlash was so intense that the company had to issue apologies and offer free DLC to smooth things over. But fast forward a few years, and Unity has quietly become one of the best entries into the series. Its recreation of Paris during the French Revolution is breathtaking, and the parkour mechanics are some of the best in the franchise. Now that the bugs are gone, the game's rich story and beautiful world can finally shine. When Destiny launched in 2014, it was clear that something was missing. While the gunplay was excellent, the game suffered from a lack of content, a confusing story, and repetitive missions. The infamous loot cave became a mime-worthy example of how grind-heavy the game was. Bungie took the criticism to heart and released expansions like The Taken King, which added meaningful content, compelling lore, and exciting raids. Destiny evolved into one of the best looter shooters out there, and its ongoing sequel, Destiny 2, continues to build on that success. It's proof that a rocky start doesn't have to define a game's legacy. Bethesda's Fallout 76 launched in 2018 as an absolute mess. There were bugs, server issues, and a lack of NPCs, which made the game feel empty and unpolished. Fans of the series were outraged, and the controversy surrounding collector's editions and microtransactions, they didn't help. The initial release felt like a rushed and hollow experience with little to offer fans of the beloved Fallout series. But Bethesda, they didn't throw in the towel. Updates like Wastelanders brought NPCs and a dialogue tree to the game, breathing life in a desolate world. Expansions like Still Dawn and The Pit added meaningful storylines and exciting new locations to explore. Events and community-focused content such as seasonal challenges have helped foster a dedicated fan base. But while Fallout 76 might not be a perfect game, it's now a solid online RPG that captures the essence of a Fallout experience. And if you're looking for a multiplayer take on the Wasteland, it's worth giving the game another chance. When Days Gone launched in 2019, it was met with mixed reviews to say the least. Critics pointed out bugs, repetitive missions, and uneven pacing. Despite it promising presence of a surviving a zombie apocalypse, the game felt like it needed more time in development. Players wanted a polished experience that truly captured the desperation of an open world survival game, but the execution left much to be desired. After several updates and patches, Days Gone has found its audience. The game's emotional story, which focuses on themes of love, loyalty, and loss, resonates deeply with players. Open world survival mechanics such as crafting and resource management make exploring the Pacific Northwest both thrilling and dangerous. Combat against hordes of freakers, zombie-like creatures is intense and incredible to say the least. And creating some of the most heart-pounding moments in gaming. It's a reminder that sometimes all games need is a little extra polish to shine, and Days Gone is now considered a cult classic among PlayStation fans. Star Wars Battlefront 2 had one of the most controversial launches in gaming history. EA's 2017 release was riddled with pay-to-win mechanics and excessive microtransactions, leading to a massive backlash from players. The controversy became so severe it even sparked debates about loot boxes in gaming, with governments weighing in on the ethical implications. Fans felt betrayed, and the game's reputation took a nosedive. Thankfully, EA listened. Over time, they removed the pay-to-win elements and completely overhauled the progression system. Numerous free updates introduced new maps, modes, and characters, transforming the game into a rich and rewarding experience. Whether you're engaging in epic ground battles, or dogfighting in X-Wings, or wielding a lightsaber as your favourite hero, Battlefront 2 now feels like the ultimate Star Wars fantasy. The dedication to fixing its issues turned it from an industry scandal into one of the most beloved modern Star Wars games. And if you're a fan of lightsabers and starships, it's absolutely worth revisiting. When Diablo III launched in 2012, it was a hot mess. Server issues, a controversial auction house, and complaints about the loot system left fans disappointed. The infamous Error 37, it became a mime, symbolising the frustration of not being able to log in. Blizzard turned things around though with the Reaper of Souls expansion, which overhauled the game's loot system, added adventure mode, and introduced the incredible Crusader class. Seasonal events kept the game fresh, and today Diablo III is a must-play for action RPG fans. It's a redemption story worthy of a century itself. And there you have it, 10 games that went from disasters to triumphs. These stories prove that even the messiest launches can actually lead to greatness with enough dedication and enough updates. If you gave up on any of these titles back in the day, now it's the perfect time to give them a second chance. Which of these redemption stories impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell for more gaming content. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.